let's go to the beginning of our relationship. What was it? Because we had known each other for a long time. Right? We've known each other for a long time, um, 14 and 15 years old. And we didn't get together till 26, 27, somewhere in there, 25 maybe.
Yeah.
What made you finally decide, or what was about me that got you interested? I started looking different.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because you grew up? I don't know.
Maybe because I, I, I like to argue I grew up faster than everybody in that school. Well, not almost everybody.
Yeah. In some ways.
Yeah,
In some ways you grew up faster, but I mean you were still Joe.
yeah. Did you know? Because it's not like we weren't strangers. We were friends.
Oh yeah,
But
we were
did you know how
friends.
much I was dealing with in high school?
Honestly, not to the extent that you really were all the stuff that you were really doing. You I don't want to say hid it well, but it wasn't on display. You weren't coming to school telling all of us or, calling us on the phone, telling us, everything. Because I mean, you still hung out with us. I mean, you still seemed somewhat like a teenager, normal. So I don't think at the time I knew everything that you were dealing with.
Mm.
I saw the fun side. Oh, Joe got an apartment. Joe got this, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
But I didn't see the struggle. I didn't understand
Meanwhile,
the
I'm at home
struggle.
curling up on the couch crying, all alone, all alone. So you don't know why I decided to start to look different to you.
It's so hard. I don't know.
Just happened.
It just happened. I honestly feel like it just happened. I don't know if it was just a time in my life. I really don't know.
Did you feel safe?
With you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt very safe with you.
Such your first time feeling safe?
If I'm honest, yes. That is the first time I truly felt safe.
Hmm. And and then so when did you decide that, okay, I said I was leaving Minnesota, right?
Hmm.
And did you immediately be like, well, good luck, or you like, hope he asked me to go, or if he asked
It
me
was
to
a
go,
little
I'm
bit of
going?
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both because, as you know, I lived in Charlotte for a year, several years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I had to move back to Minneapolis, it was never my intent to stay in Minneapolis. Like, I didn't want to move back in the first place, but circumstances kind of pushed me back there. So it was kind of a little bit of both. Is like, okay, well, definitely not asking him to stay around here for me, but I'm also not gonna say, well, can I come with you? I'm not that type of girl. So I wasn't gonna be like, well, I'm gonna come with you.
But you wanted to go?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty in this.
No, it's not uncertainty. It's like it wasn't like some desperation of I really need to go with him. Definitely wasn't like that.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to go.
Um, you can't make decisions at this point in your life. You couldn't make decisions for yourself anymore,
Right.
because Devin was already here,
Hmm.
and you had to decide whether or not, this is not only a good move for you, but it was a good move for him.
Hmm.
How scary was that?
That's extremely scary. Anytime you make a decision for somebody else, you know, especially your child, you're hoping that you're making the right choice because you never know how it'll affect them years down the road.
How much did the things you experienced in your childhood with your parents impact your feelings about what decisions you were making with Devin?
I don't, you mean in regards to his, what do you mean?
I mean, just well, you're taking him out of Minnesota. You're a package deal, so and y'all are bonded in a different way because there was a good period of time where it really was just you and him.
Right.
And you know, inviting somebody else into that space. These are some things you experience. You experience not having a biological father around, you know, and how that situation can be temporary with bringing somebody else in. Is, you know, from your point of view, not necessarily a permanent thing. I'm just wondering if any of these things were factoring in your head, or you just trusted out the gate that.
I'm gonna say I trusted out the gate because I don't think I really thought back to my personal experiences of, you know, missing or lacking or someone coming in and out. I don't think I even really thought about that because, again, I felt safe. So it wasn't like me pondering, oh my gosh, is this, you know, will this part affect Devin in a negative way?
Mhm.
I didn't think about it like that.
How long did it take for you to be like, okay, that's his son too. It's not just my son.
Well, to back up, because not only that, you've been in Devin's life since he's been born.
That's before he was born, yeah.
Right. So it's like, that also wasn't like you were just someone I met, you know, a month out or however long somewhere else randomly, and I had to introduce you guys. You were already a part of his life. So that also didn't make me think this is someone that's going to come in and out or how that's going to affect. I think that's why I didn't really think about that part of it in that way.
So make that make sense for me.
So like you already being present, because like you said, you've been there before he was born. Like, you know, you were at his baby shower and then you were there, you know, all these, you know, prior us actually dating. So it's not like you were just some, I don't want to say random guy, but you were just some new guy that I started dating and then introduced you to my child.
Right.
You had already been there and I already felt safe with you. So in regards to moving out of state, I guess that part of my mind, that wasn't like something I had to think about. Like, is it okay or how will that affect Devin? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Did you ever think you would get married when you were younger?
Oh, yeah.
You already knew it? You knew at
I
some
didn't
point?
know it. I guess you could say it's something I wanted or dreamed of because my mom at the time growing up had never actually got married. I didn't really see marriage. I saw it through some of my friends and their parents, but I didn't really see it necessarily within like my household or in my family. So it was something I definitely wanted.
How was that experience for you?
What?
The whole getting married, going through the process, all of it.
It was stressful, but it was beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What part was stressful?
I mean, we got married in another country, so it was very stressful just kind of like figuring out some of the logistics because let's keep it real, they weren't communicating. We didn't know when we boarded that plane to Jamaica, we had no idea what we were going to do.
No.
What was going to happen when we were
Right.
there.
Right.
And then the stress of just not having our families there, you know, that was a gamble we took. You know, when we made that choice, we knew that there was a big possibility they wouldn't make it. But I think in our minds, we were like, we're giving people time, they can make it, you know.
Right.
And it just didn't work that way.
No.
So that was a little stressful. However, I would do it all over again the same way.
Same way. It was the best time of my life. I'm trying to think of a time I had, but that was more joyful or enjoyable than that. Oh, we were there 7 days?
Yeah, we were there 7.
Yeah, that was a great time. We need to watch that video again. So
We don't have a DVD.
yeah, we have a DVD.
Oh,
and we have the little there's a little piece of video
okay.
that somebody shot.
Okay.
Getting to things, like I said, you know, you don't get 14 years of marriage by just making a whole bunch of mistakes, but you also don't get 14 years of marriage, I'm guessing, by not experiencing challenges. So how difficult is it being married to me?
Well, you know, I've only been married once. So I don't have nothing to compare it to. So I don't want to be like, oh, it's just this, or oh, it's so blissful. I don't, it's really not that hard. I mean, other than when you try to, as a late, counsel me, I don't like that.
You don't like you don't like you don't like being therapized or whatever you like to call it.
No, I don't. Because you become too experty. It's one thing to just regularly, casually talk with me, but when you talk to me at like a professor level, like you're just trying to be too, you know,
Well, let me tell you.
book,
Yeah.
text, no.
This experience, I've been at it for like 2 years now, doing couples counseling and individual counseling. And honestly, it can sometimes be kind of stressful when you're married because you see things or you learn things that are flawed or things that I personally notice things that I'm doing wrong. And I try to approach it in a way of me just, taking accountability for what I'm doing. And I guess sometimes it comes off as me trying to criticize you, but it's like I'm learning all this information on what healthy marriages look like and tools and resources in order to keep a marriage healthy. And I'm trying to share them. But I guess from your point of view, I'm obviously not communicating in a way that makes you feel like you're welcoming this information.
It's not a casual conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. It always causes hostility. I try to walk, I try to walk lightly into these things, but it's literally every single day because I'm always every single day I spend some amount of time either reading or watching or researching something about couples because this is what I've chosen to do. Like I've chosen now to do this. So every day I'm learning something new and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to tell Don about this. And I guess I need to figure out a new way to bring it to you because it's good information.
For a new time. You usually pull it in when there's like a discussion already going on. That's when you try to pull it in. So it's like it's the wrong time.
Well, here in chapter 3, what you're doing to me is called this. Has it helped at all, though? Has it made me a better husband or person at all? Going through therapy and then becoming a therapist myself?
Yeah, I believe so. I feel like there's a lot of things that you notice about yourself because you'll ask me, like, hey, how do you feel when I do this or I don't do this? And so it's like you're kind of taking a look at yourself. So I think it has helped you in that way in regards to marriage. I don't, other than just trying to, my word, therapize me. I think it's been great.
Well, I know one of the things that I did in the past was if we have some type of argument, it's going to have to be you to mend the fence because
You're stubborn as hell.
Yeah, I'm not coming back to the table. I'm mad and I'm not coming back to the table. But through my education, I've learned that is abusive.
Uh-huh.
And I don't do that anymore. I try very hard to be self-aware when trying not to shut down and walk away from situations. And that's one of the things that I think is a benefit to me.
I would agree because you could go days.
That's being nice. That's being nice. I could go much longer than days when I get upset. But I didn't have, like in the beginning of our marriage, I really felt like, I was the master communicator. Like I felt like you were learning how to have conversations like the ones I was having. And then it came to a point where I just became, I don't know if it became reversed or what. And I was not a master communicator. I thought I was.
Right. Well, I was giving you your flowers too because I was like, okay, It's what we're supposed to do.
Yes, yes. Because I did know empathy. I do know compassion. You know, um, been through so much. You've been through so much, but you know, we've had different. You know, we had different paths to get what we got, but you know, neither one of them was really easy, so to speak. But when I found you, I knew immediately um, that I had found a friend. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to talk to you. And when you got upset, you know, I wanted to try to make sure you understood I'm not here to combat you. I'm not here to fight you. And you were in the beginning like used to fighting. You want to fight. And I just wasn't with that. So let's talk it out. And then somewhere, you know, I lost the words, I lost the willingness, and then there was words that I never had or never knew how to use or how to communicate what I was feeling. Instead, it was just always come out in like some unhealthy way. Instead of me just saying, you know, I feel this way, I need this. Can we do this? Can we do that? And in turn, it took you down, in my opinion, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, it took you down a path of, you know, then your communication got poor, almost in reaction to mine getting poor. And it just, you know, it took a while to build it back up. But for a minute there, it got real poor.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think I still am there at times, where I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, you know,
Not worth it.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not even gonna, okay,
Yeah.
don't have it in me.
Because that's that number one marriage tip everybody gives you, right? Pick your battles.
Right. Exactly. I'm constantly saying, just pick my battles.
I don't think that's good advice.
I know I don't think it's good either, but then sometimes I'm just like, I don't have the energy to, you know, even have a discussion about this because I don't want to fight over it. And I don't want to be therapized. So I, you know, will just, it's not worth it.
Yeah. It makes me, you know, I don't like to say what we should have done, but it makes me want to get better at not picking battles, but picking words that don't start battles.
Right. That's fair. I do think it's usually the word, a word that is triggersome.
Yeah. So I've been trying gentle startups, you know, you know, just lightly tapping. I mean, how is that working out? Am I doing better about bringing stuff, or is it still
It's a little
coming in rough?
It's a little rocky. I mean,
I'm an intense guy.
You're very intense.
Yeah.
Very intense. It's a little rocky, but I mean, you're trying.
But you know, you do. Do you feel loved?
By you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm doing something right.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm trying, like I said, to because like I said, I don't think picking your battles is good advice.
So what do you think? If you were telling a young couple, someone starting out, you know, freshly newlyweds, what are you're not, instead of saying, you know, son, pick your battles, what are you going to tell them?
I'm going to help. It's what I do now. I try to help people find the language. I think the most important thing is gaining understanding of where your partner's coming from.
Okay.
So what I try to do, not only in my couple sessions, but in my own marriage, is I try my best to understand everything that you're saying, why you're saying it, you know, and hopefully if it's something I feel like a perspective that needs to change, hopefully I can get you to understand where I'm coming from, so you can be like, okay, what you think I'm saying is not what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, I know that I have no intentions of hurting you or making you mad or making you upset. All I want to do is make you happy. So If that's my intention and it's not being communicated, I need to change the way I'm communicating until you understand that's what I'm trying to do. That's it. That's it. Because I'm not your enemy.
Right. You think that there's in the pick your battles comments that any little thing you should discuss. You should, raise that conversation with your spouse.
If it's making you uncomfortable or making you have to show up, if it's making you change the way that you are in order to make your partner comfortable, I think you should bring it up.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. Because I wouldn't want you to be doing something in order to make me feel comfortable if it's making you feel uncomfortable. At least without me knowing. I mean, if it's something I can help, because it may be something I can help. It may be something I can't help. And it's just,
like the way you chew gum.
Like the way I chew gum. I could try. I could try not to chew the way, but at the end of the day, I'm not intentionally going out to smack on this gum,
But you do.
But, I do try. I try. I don't always succeed. But even with everything that bothers you, I try. I don't succeed. And I know sometimes I'm like, dang, you did ask me to do this differently. And I did not hold up.
Yeah.
So I understand that. And I'm not doing it to be like, damn this.
Give me this piece of gum so I can smack
damn this. I'm going to smack this gum. It's my gum. Whoa.
That's how you be acting, though. It might not be your intent, but that's how you act.
Yeah.
But
what do you think that you do or make adjustments in order to
I know I make adjustments. I just a lot of the time feel like the adjustments I'm making aren't very visible, so you don't see them or maybe even always feel them. But I know I'm making adjustments. Like if if there's something that I don't know, like something that was asked of you for me to do or not do, I know I'm making that, but I don't know if I'm doing it enough to where it's seen or felt. So that's something I probably have to work on. Because that's my nature. I feel like that's my nature, is very, I don't want to say people pleasing, but that's probably what it is.
I think that because when you have so much of the mask wearing and changing and making adjustments without being asked to make these adjustments, or you're just deciding to change this because you think, or I'm deciding to change this because I think this is what you want, instead of having a conversation. And like when you finally had a conversation, it just comes out and like negative criticism, and you get so much of that, and it becomes just a negative sentiment. So like before you even start speaking, or before I even start speaking, the other person is already on defense, and you already like, okay, you're finna say something negative on top of all the other negative thing. You're not even letting it be a new conversation. It's just part of the added on to the current pile of negative stuff that we didn't already talked about. So I wonder sometimes if, so like for you, I can tell by your voice whether something's going to come out bad or not. I'm like,
Oh my God.
before you even say, hey babe, okay, that means you're just going to ask me to do something that's like, and I can't change. I can't do the voice, but it's the way you say it that made me know, oh man, I didn't messed up. I didn't forgot to do something,
or not to do.
Or I'm doing something that's annoying you, like, even when it's even before you tell me to turn the TV down, I know she's finna tell me to turn this TV down or something.
Well, I mean, you listen to it at like volume 60.
I can't hear. But What do you think about that? You think that sometimes that, that negative sentiment is built up to a level that, you already anticipate something negative and you can't even be introduced to new conversations?
Yes. Are you referring in general or with us?
And with us, I don't want to be generalizing out there for
For people?
Yeah. And we talking this talk and we being transparent and vulnerable right now, but understand we have 14 of these things. It ain't 50, it ain't 20, but it's 14 of them. We still laugh with each other pretty hard. So even through,
I'm the funny one.
then definitely not the funny one. I'm trying to think what place you're in the house.
In the house?
You're fighting hard with Devin for third because.
No, Devin's just not very funny.
Yeah, you might be third. Devin might be fourth. He's just not funny.
And you're not.
I don't.
The only one who laughs at your jokes is Donovan.
Donna, you laugh so hard, your mouth gets so wide that you scrape your forehead laughing at me. Look at that.
What?
Look at that. Get in the camera now. Get in the camera now. You laugh so hard at this stuff I say.
Okay. Whatever. The people know.
Yes, the people do know. Yes, the people do know. And I don't try to be funny on purpose. This stuff just comes out of me. I don't understand.
Exactly. Same here.
But I might not be the funniest one, to be honest.
You're not.
It's probably Donovan.
Yeah, it's Donovan than me.
You're not in the running. You're not in the running.
Okay. To be continued. What was the question again? I didn't forgot.
I was just saying, but the negative sentiment, how it builds up.
This is going back to when you made the statement of when we choose to make changes that weren't really asked.
Yeah.
And yeah, we definitely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you think, oh, okay, he must want this, so I'm going to start doing this or acting this way.
Right.
And then you're like, I didn't even want that.
I ain't asked for that.
And then it's like, but I did it for you, so you don't like it.
Yeah, you better appreciate it.
We definitely do that. Definitely.
Yeah. Well,
and it's, I think a lot of people do that in all their types of relationships. And it's something that we have to stop, because you can't be mad at someone for something you chose to do that they didn't want you to even do.
right. So let's talk about how do I
feel like we do that?
I absolutely know that we do that. And I'm gonna be honest, being transparent, you're probably a little more guilty of it than I am. You do a lot of stuff for me. You do a lot of stuff for me. And if it's something if you do 10 things for me and it's the one thing that I want you to do that I'm actually asking for, and if I mention that you didn't do this one thing, I feel like you think I'm ungrateful for the other 10 things that you actually did. That I'm like, okay, you did. I do appreciate all of those things. I didn't necessarily ask for them, and I'm glad to receive them, but let's not miss the thing that I actually asked for. So I feel like you get a little more guilty of it than I am.
I don't know if I agree with that.
What?
I don't know if I agree with that.
I asked.
I think it's the other way around in regards to how you just phrased that.
What?
It's definitely the other way around.
I ask you all the time.
Because you're like, what about all the other things I did right? And I'm like, yeah, but I asked you to,
That's fair.
change out the clothes or send mom the recipe.
Oh, that was recent. So that's messed up. That's messed up.
But I mean, I'm not saying that I don't do that, because I definitely am somebody who.
No, you're fair. That's accurate. That's fair. That's fair. I think maybe because you asked me to do way more things than I ask you to do too.
That's fair.
And I'm bad. I need to start. I kick myself every time, because it's like, why didn't I just write this down? Or I be thinking my mind is so solid that I can just.
Whoa. You need to let that go.
And I got all of these balls and plates in the air, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but stuff slip,
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, we're all human.
yeah, no, but I do that too much. And you're right. You do ask me to do stuff, and after a while, I have so much, internalized negative sentiment that sometimes you could be coming at me in a peaceful way and asking me to do something in a calm and nice way, but I'm internalizing all the stuff that I didn't do. So I'll project and turn it on you, be like, dang, I did 10 things right.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
the tables were reversed on that last statement.
How you mean? I forgot to send the recipe.
2 days later.
2 days later. 2 days later. But I mean well. I swear I mean well. I swear.
Yeah.
So what? How do you think I'm doing? I interviewed Donovan recently, and I can't wait for you to hear what the kind of things he said. But he really touched my heart. But I want to know from you, from your perspective as his mother, how do you think I'm doing? And Devin's mother, how do you think I'm doing as a father around here?
I think you're doing a great job. I mean, you're attentive to, like their actual, well, a lot of it has to do with your recent, education, but you're very attentive to like maybe how certain things are affecting them mentally, where their mental state is. That's just a big thing because we lack that.
Yeah.
In our community in such a big way.
I'm just worried about them not having the tools to communicate, or coming out like, the worst of both of us. You and you're the way you lock up and don't say nothing and hold it all in and it just comes out. And me? Yes, definitely you.
I don't do that.
And the way I come out and it comes out as an avalanche, where I'm kicking trash cans and punching walls and I just like, man, I hope that there's a balance for them, that they can find the words.
But no, you're anywhere that they want you to be there, whether it's, I don't know, playing a game, watching a movie, especially with more so with Donovan as of late, because let's face it, Devin's 21. He don't really fool with us too much.
Not really, no.
He does his own thing, comes and goes.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder for me to talk about, the Devin branch.
Yeah.
But I mean, thinking back to when Devin was Donovan's age, my gosh, it was just the two of you. You got all the sports and everything that was going on. I mean, working in his school, it's like where you saw one, you pretty much had to see the other. So, I mean, they were a big part of your life. To he and his friends,
Still
packed.
I still think that I did so much learning on the job with Devin that he got, he got a better father than I got for sure, but he didn't get the best version of him at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, a lot of it's growth as well. I mean, the things that we learn as we get older.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the on the job training with both of us in a lot of ways.
For sure.
But I mean, if you ask me, he was the better one out of the two to get that.
Yeah, he's a different kind of dude.
Yeah, so.
You could, like I said, tell the joke and give him a blade of grass and he'll be occupied for 5 hours. And Donovan, you got to lights, camera, action. You got to dance and
I don't know where he gets
shake
that
and
from.
jive to keep him occupied.
Golly, I don't know where he gets that from.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, wherever they want you, you're there. So, and a lot of people, including their friends, they don't have that.
Yeah, I definitely did.
So.
You definitely didn't.
Mm-mm.
I try to be what I didn't. I try to show up in his life in a way that what I needed. I try to be what I needed, especially at first trying to, balance that line between, that biological line, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm a stepfather, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm no longer I'm your father, period. Um, and that line, that knowing in a way what being in a position that he was in, you know, feeling like sometimes like the outsider in my own house, you know, a lot of times, um, and I don't know, I see it now, and I'm glad that we can have conversations now that are impactful, but it's a lot of on the job training,
Yeah.
At times though, did you feel
Something that's important though also is that you're here, and a big thing is you're showing them how they should treat a woman, their future wife, girlfriends or wives, or just how a woman should be treated. That's a big thing, because let's face it, a lot of these men don't have it.
Yeah, I didn't, but thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I had to, even still stuff I didn't learn, like, opening the door, things like that. I still had to remind myself because nobody taught me that, so I still have to remind myself sometimes. I try to, if I can remember, open the door, the car doors. It's not like I'm letting you run in the doors at the grocery store.
The boys be on it about the house door. Don't let one of them walk in before me because the other one's flipping out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever paid attention to that, but
I don't pay attention to them at all. If I can help it.
Well, they do. That's one thing that's very serious to them. Nobody walks in the door before mom. But car doors, that's another situation. But to me, I don't need that 100% of the time.
Yeah, you're
what?
Kind of an independent woman, aren't you?
I knew you were going to say that.
I'll go back to the time, it's a good important point to make.
Oh.
Back to the time where that broke me down.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
When I had just gotten laid off, and Donovan was either about to be born or just born.
You were laid off before he was born.
Okay, so I had no job. I had left a stable situation as an accountant and moved into recruiting, which I don't know why any black man in Texas would try that job.
Yeah, I thought that the other day. I was like, why did he do that?
Yeah, I don't know, just trying to be happy, but not understanding that time, that's a young, 27-year-old man trying to, just do stuff. But anyway, not a good decision. But, and you said, I was laid off, Donovan was born, and you said something along the lines of, I don't know exactly what you said, but all I heard was, I don't need you. I
knew you were going to say that.
I can do this all by myself.
That's
buddy.
not really how it went. You said, gosh, how exactly did you word it? I think you said, would you be okay? Something about you not being around.
Yeah.
And I said, I would be just fine. I could handle this.
You would make it. Yeah. If I was around you, I'd make it. And I should have been proud.
And that's how I meant it. I meant it as in, you married somebody that's strong, somebody that's, that's been through some stuff and can handle her own.
The money tree.
the money tree, yes. Yeah. That can handle her own. So, understand that, don't worry about me because I'm strong.
Yeah.
I'm not weak. I'm going to make it happen no matter what.
Right.
And
yeah.
You took it as.
Yeah, no, you just, I'm a loser. I have no worth, no value. But at the time, like I said, I just got laid off. I got a brand new son. So I can look at it now in hindsight, but like, man, I was very fragile.
For years. This was a hot topic for years.
It affected me it really changed the course of our marriage for a long time. Because I lost a lot of confidence. I lost a lot of confidence at that time, and I became somebody who then needed to be needed by everybody, and that's when I started diving deep into, coaching and teaching and whatnot, and it just consumed me to the point where I couldn't even see or didn't even want to see past helping other people, or being somewhere where I was needed. That was the false or illogical thoughts in my mind, is like, my family doesn't need me, so I need to be out here in the world,
Right.
where she got it. My wife don't need me.
My kids don't need
My
me.
kids don't need me. Nobody needs me in here. So let me just, and I was,
That went on for years.
yeah, I was consumed. Like, it sounds crazy now, because not only was I coaching like 10 teams at once by myself.
Was that about 9-10 years?
Yeah, it was a while. It was a long while. And I was handling all by myself for the most part. And then I was playing 3 or 4 different sports. I don't know how I don't have time today I don't have 10 minutes, right? And I'm not doing half.
It feels like you don't have
10 minutes. It feels like I don't have 10 minutes.
I agree. I look back at like how we are now, where we're not ripping and running to practices and to games, and whether it's your game or Donovan's game or Devin's game or whatever it might be. And I'm like, how the hell did we do that for so long? Because like you said, now it feels like you don't have 10 minutes. I walk in the door from work and I'm like, the night's over. Whereas, Devin was playing multiple sports. You were playing multiple sports. Then Donovan started playing sports, and we're having to like tag team, and you're coaching multiple teams. I'm like, how the hell did we do it?
Right. So I want to ask you, that time period basically started a real active depression for me. And I wasn't aware of it. Maybe you weren't aware of it until much later.
Yeah.
I slid into a depression, but it became evident eventually. What is it like being married to someone who is clinically depressed?
Honest opinion?
Yes.
Or honest feeling? It's hard. There's, I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's very difficult because you want to make sure that that person's okay, but you don't know how to make sure that that person's okay. If I say this, it's going to do this, or if I don't say this, it's going to do that. And so you're constantly trying to figure out how to, I don't like the word manage or handle, but you're constantly trying to figure out, what's best. Mm-hmm. And as well as keep, yourself somewhat sane. Mm-hmm. Children and just the whole family mechanism. You're just trying to keep that moving, but you got to make sure this person's okay, and it's difficult. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to be very I don't know if selfless is the right word, but you have to be aware, and you have to be. I'm losing my words. But
you lost yourself trying to take care of me?
If I'm honest, if I really think about it, I guess I could say yeah. But I didn't think that, in the moment. No, Donna's Donna. Donna's always gonna be Donna. But it takes, someone maybe pointing it out to you. Are you okay? You don't seem like yourself. Mm. And you think you are, and someone else tells you you're not.
Is it still scary?
Oh yes, because you never know.
Yeah.
You learn a lot, but you still have a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. And I personally haven't, gone through and I don't know, sat down and read textbooks and learned all this stuff about everything that goes on. Mm-hmm. So it's just, you just never know, because every day can be different. You could be high, you could be low.
Can you feel it when it's trending in the right direction, like things are not as depressing or as sad as maybe once was, or it's still just you never know?
No, you can feel it. I you you can. I feel like I can physically feel it when you're going up, or if you're having a bad time.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like now I'm starting to pick up on it a little bit. There's times though where I think you mask it because you're just trying to make sure we're all good. But I just don't always say something because I'm like, okay, he's trying to be good, so let me not be like, I know you're having a bad day. Like,
That might actually work for me though, to
really.
be honest. Yeah. Just to
Okay.
acknowledge that you know that I'm not okay sometimes, because the mask is heavy.
Hmm.
I like I said, I know too. But I try not to, you know, ask you. I mean, I try not to avoid asking you. I try to go right in, like, look, are you all right? I know you're not going to tell me, but I still try to ask when you're having bad days or when you're.
I tell you if I'm having a bad day. I just may not go into details about it, but
You don't have to tell me. I
don't I
know.
tell you?
Well,
Or don't I admit to you them?
um, sometimes, but you don't really go into detail, like you said, about like you don't. We can't talk about it or explore it. Instead, I just hit the panic button and let these two idiots know that now ain't the day to be testing your mom. So, but when you think about can you think about some of the scariest times when I'm dealing and fighting? Because my depression got really bad.
Can I think of the scariest times?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there're just times you don't forget.
yeah. I've said publicly that I went to a mental hospital, and I don't know. I can cut this out if you don't want to talk about it, but I know on the other side of that thing, it must have been difficult for you to.
Yeah, it was very. I want to say maybe that time that I got the phone call early in the morning that you were at the park.
Mhm.
Do you remember that? And they had taken you over to the hospital.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
yes. That was my first suicide attempt.
Yes, that was very scary to me because I think that was like, whoa, okay. There's something going on, because like you said, you'd been dealing with it for a while, but I don't think either one of us really knew what we were dealing with. I honestly thought, okay, it's stress. Again, you're coaching all these teams, you're trying to do all these things, and I thought that was it. And then, you hate to lose. So whenever it was a bad tournament, I thought that's what also played into this like spiral of sadness or whatever, not knowing that it was depression. So then when I got that phone call, that was extremely scary. Like, I didn't know what to do because this is stuff we don't talk about. And I don't mean you and I just mean like as a community. So I was like, I didn't know what to do about it, how to feel. And then even when you came home, when I picked you up, we didn't really talk about it. We literally went home and went to work.
Yeah, I ain't had the words.
It's like we just never talked about it. And I don't think it ever came back up between us. Did it?
No,
So, I mean,
I didn't even tell you what I was doing or what happened or nothing. You just
mm-mm.
picked me up and.
Yeah, it was really weird. It just put you in a really weird spot. And again, it was kind of like, okay, well, he doesn't want to talk about it because, part of your shutdown, that's how I kind of just learned how to move through life is like, okay, you don't want to talk about it. So it's another shutdown, moving on.
Yeah.
So there's that situation. There's others, but I think as the others came along, I was more aware. I don't think there was anything else prior your stay that I'm aware of.
I mean, there was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of times, even honestly, it might have been some times even before we even got married that I was, I've never really, you know, been all the way healthy, you know, real till now. Like I feel like now I'm good, but um, just things are starting to pile up, and I used to start to feel real illogical stuff. Like I felt unloved, unnecessary, and you feel like people are better off without you. But I think the main thing that drove it is you just don't want to be in pain anymore. Like you just feel so much pain, and you just want it to stop. But you know, uh, I'm just glad that I'm glad that you understand. Now that um, now I'm losing my words, but I'm just really happy you stood by me, and I want you to know I acknowledge that, and I know that it wasn't easy for you, because I don't think people understand that when you're married to it, you're in it. Like you're going through it just as, I don't want to say just as bad, or I don't know what is worse. I don't know which one is worse, but it's bad on both sides.
Mm-hmm. They're different. Bad.
Yeah, and it's hard to acknowledge that when you in it, like yeah, it's hard for you, but I'm like almost dying. So it's like I couldn't, but now having perspective on, on everything, I know what it feels like when I think that you're just the slightest bit upset, it could really ruin my day. So I can't imagine I'm out here really literally trying to die, and you just trying to hold that together and hold our sons up. And it must have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it was. It is.
Yeah. But I'm working on it, man. How what is it for you? How grateful are you, or how happy are you that, I've kind of found my groove in therapy, not as a therapist, but as a client and as a therapist.
Oh, extremely, extremely happy. I think it's amazing because you had some not so good experiences. So for you to, as a patient,
Yeah.
I think it's great that you gave it another try,
Yeah.
and because you had more than one bad experience.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good that you gave it another try to, get the help that you need and find somebody and trust somebody, because you're not very trusting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes I don't think you know how to read people. I side eyeing people like, I don't know about them. And you be all in.
You've warned me several times, and you've been right, and I've been wrong. So I can't even argue that point right now.
But to find somebody that you can trust, I think is amazing. And then to also put yourself through school and educate yourself so that you can turn around and help somebody. It's just, and you're normalizing it. It's like I said, it's something that's not really talked about in our community. It's becoming more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing more people okay with saying, oh, I was with my therapist the other day or whatever, and they're okay with it. And I love it.
Speaking of that, helping people, it's been a thing in our marriage where I used to feel like you resented me for always trying to help people. And because of that, it would always cause conflict. But when did you have you accepted that I get my joy from helping people, even though I can admit I wasn't doing it in the most healthy way, because I wasn't taking care of myself or my house the way that I should have. But I can't be without helping people. Like I just don't know how to exist in a space where I'm not doing that.
Let's be clear. I never dislike you helping people. It's just that you allow people to take advantage of you. Like you overextend yourself. You don't know the word no. When it necessary. Well, you've gotten better with the family, but like a couple years back, you wouldn't say no. Like you would if it meant, coming home late, like we're all in bed, or possibly missing something for one of us, you were okay with that because you were helping somebody over there. And
Yeah.
that's where my issue came
I
in.
justified it. Yeah.
So it wasn't that you were helping people that I had a problem with. It's just the manner in which the excessiveness, because you become so excessive, like you admitted. So like, let's take it back to like when you were in, I don't know, is it your externship, and you were counseling people like hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, dude, this is getting out of hand.
Fix it today. I can't get it done in an hour a week. We gotta get it all done.
I mean, you're supposed to have a 1 hour session and you're sitting up here for 3 hours with someone.
Oh my God.
So I was like, here we go again.
Boundaries.
But you're learning to set your boundaries.
Yeah. I was, and those not setting boundaries when I was coaching and teaching is ultimately what pushed me into the deepest part of my depression.
But why did it seem like you were kind of going back there with the counseling? Like I said, you were doing these uber long sessions, and
it's a drug. Like, I've been out of teaching for so long, right? And I'm getting back to a situation where I can help people again. And it's that drug, man. It's like, I need more of it. I need more of it. I need the help, and I see people being affected and impacted by the things that I say. And it's like, but then it's like, okay, recognize again that this is how you destroyed yourself last time. So put these boundaries together and don't let people take advantage of you.
Right.
So that's kind of what I've learned.
Okay.
And I'm definitely getting better at that now, in all aspects, whether it's, just counseling or just people in my life, period, So you say you saw people taking advantage. When you visibly see people basically taking advantage of me or hurting me in any way, how does that affect you?
It infuriates me.
Yeah. Yeah. You always kind of kept quiet though. Like, you never,
Well, I mean, I didn't always keep quiet with you, but I'm also not going to go and snap on that person because you're allowing it. So I'm like, okay, well, this must be what he wants, or how it needs to go. But I mean, I would tell you that I didn't think it was cool, or you need to fall back. But Joe's gonna do Joe.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about before we end in our black table talk?
Black table talk.
I'm not doing the bad marriages for life like Will and Jada. If it had me out here slapping people in public.
Oh my gosh, I would never have you do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought about you at that moment when he went up on stage and smacked that dude, because I'm like, if I would have tried to get up, Donna would have snatched me back down and like gritted her teeth and everything. Like, shit down. What are you doing? You better not go up there.
I get it's like I'm torn on that, because it's like I just feel like he didn't need to go up there and do that in that moment. But I get you also feeling like you need to, defend your wife.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Well,
So
he lost it.
But yeah, he lost it. I just felt like he could have
I would have lost
handled
it too.
himself in a different way. I mean, look where you're at. It's just a lot. But I mean, in those moments, you're not looking around like, okay, where were they? The Oscars? No,
Yeah.
Oscars. It's like he's not looking around like, okay, I'm in the Oscars. I'm about to go up here and slap another black man. I know he's not thinking about all that in that moment.
But I know you would have stopped me.
Oh no, I would have stopped you, just because I don't need you to show the world. I know how you feel about me and how you would protect me. I wouldn't need you to go up on stage for me.
Well, I'm gonna say I know you would have tried to stop me.
Oh yeah, no.
When I get mad, and it ain't no.
Let's just.
When I get mad,
I've tried to stop you so many times.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's been some embarrassing. But I look back on that stuff now and I'm like, man, that dude was so unhappy and so unhealed. And like, there's been moments, man, like even when going to play basketball with the boys, there's been moments where I know that I would have lost my mind a
In those
couple of years
games.
ago. Yes, a couple of years ago. And now I'm just like, I can handle this. Like I
Do you
can.
ever ask the boys, like, hey, when I used to spaz out at games and you guys would have to hold me back from refs and other coaches?
I don't ask them any. First of all, I don't know if they like me very much, to be
They do.
honest.
They love him.
To be honest, but no, I kind of whenever anything coming close to the subject comes up, they all just kind of make a face that kind of lets me know I was tripping. But they also, I think, appreciate that the reason I was tripping was because I love them. I know how much work that we had done to be in those situations, and really what it was all about was
Unfairness.
unfairness.
Yeah.
I like, you know, like, man, like don't do this to these kids, man. You don't know what this kid in particular went through, or that kid in particular went through. You know, I knew personally what each and every one of them, you know, was going through, and I carried that, and I carried it. I
I
carried
don't
it all.
dispute a lot of your your
Intent?
arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah, your intent. It's just you just
I
go
lost it.
from
I embarrassed myself on a lot of occasions. That's for sure. I embarrassed myself on a lot of occasions.
Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe. Crazy Joe. All right. Well, I think. What do you think? You think we could do a podcast together?
Yeah. Let me ask you some questions on the next one.
Oh wow. Let's give me a sample.
A sample.
Sample question.
What's it like being married to me?
Oh man. I'm gonna describe it like this. What being married to you is like is walking around 24/7 with a mirror in your face. Because, and I say this all the time, you are the best person I know. You're the kind of person that's gonna do the right thing when nobody's looking. And you know, hey, where we differ might be, I will, you know, go way beyond for people, okay? And you will do a lot for people too. You will always do at the end of the day what's right. So I try to match that and mirror that and be worthy of being your husband. And I understand that way more now than I did in the past. So there's that, and then there's, you know, it's like being married to your, like we laugh so much. We have been married 14 years, but we've known each other since we were 14 years old, 15 years old. I'm talking, what is that?
You always like to throw that age difference.
30 something years. It's been a long time to be knowing somebody and to still be enjoying their company.
Right.
Which is what makes me think that, you know, when I see marriages dissolve, I'm like, after 20, 30 some years, 15, 20 years or more, marriages dissolve, I'm like, I just don't, like, I feel like you had to see that, or I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm like, I don't see that. You know, I know anything's possible, but it's times where it's hard. I'm like, you know, wondering what, you know, one bedroom apartments are going for right now.
Oh yeah, in my next life. Let me tell y'all, my next life.
I wonder what one bedroom is going for right now. But at the end of the day, I ain't going no damn where. I have it really, really good. I have somebody that has my back, especially now when I've seen so many people turn their back on me and exit my life. It just makes me really focus in on the fact that, you know, you got me, and nah, it's great being married to you, from
You
my
think it
opinion.
helps that we were friends first?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But even